welcome to a book up session. I'm Ashley Gunn, and today I'm going to tell you guys about this incredible book that I just read. It's the very first book I've ever read by Bella Aurora, and it's called Lev. It's the first book in the Shot Caller series. If you have not read this series, then please read it. It's incredible. This book is a little bit of a deep drama, so it's not light and happy, but it is just so beautifully well written. There are some things I actually quoted out of this book because it was just really that great that I thought like they need to be on billboards and put up around town. Anyways, you start this book with Mina and she's starving to death. The way that it describes it, I mean, she's almost accepted the fact that this is going to be her last day on earth. Does that make sense? It is just it's heartbreaking. And she decides that she's going to fight. And the way that she's going to do that is she's going to go steal some money and buy herself something to eat so she can survive another day. There's a strip club and she realizes that maybe everyone will be so busy looking at the strippers that she'll be able to steal someone's wallet and get some food. And she does. She actually accomplishes stealing a wallet. There's 7 $100 bills in the wallet, and she just takes one of them. As soon as she does, she's caught by Lev, who is the male lead of the book, and he notices right away that she's in a bad place in her life and gives her 3 options. The last of which is that he'll give her some food and a job. Obviously, that's the one that she takes because she doesn't want to steal and she doesn't want to go hungry. That's just kind of where she is in her life. You're going to find out about all of that. You're going to know exactly why she ended up on the streets and how her life has been there and that kind of stuff. It's heart-wrenching to know this types of things happen. Here's the thing. When the book very first started and there was the scene of her talking about starving to death, I just thought that was just such an intense scene. And then as I read, there's this other scene where Lev buys Mina some food through a fast food drive-thru, and Mina is crying while she eats it. And you realize that you take everything in your life for granted. The fact that you get to eat every day and you don't feel like she had to feel, it makes you appreciate your life in a way that I don't think that anybody but Bella could have made you feel. It's incredible. So Lev goes to take Mina back to her house since Mina says she has a place to stay. Lev realizes that Mina is not quite telling the truth and that by a place to stay she means this dumpster that she sleeps next to. Lev, I want to say that he thought he was being generous, but it came off in a not such great way. Either way, he takes Mina back to his house so that she's not sleeping on the streets. And there are some things that you're going to have to realize about Lev. He does not understand emotion as well as other people. He also doesn't understand things unless you tell him bluntly, and he will talk to you bluntly. He doesn't try and sugarcoat things. He also doesn't completely understand empathy and those types of things. It's really interesting. And you're going to find out all about him, why he is the way he is, how he kind of got these personality issues that he does. And honestly, the most incredible thing about this book is the fact that he does have these personality issues. He accepts them about himself, but he also has this amazing and just cute and adorable daughter, and he tries to overcome his personality issues to be the best dad ever. And there was something about that, and knowing that he wanted to try and wants to be the best for his daughter. It gives his personality, his character more depth, and it draws you into the type of person he is. Anyways, so throughout the book, you're going to have different times where Mina's going to believe that Lev is looking down on her. There's a couple. One specifically is he throws out all of her clothes and calls them trash. He doesn't realize what he's doing when he does it, and he even says, I was planning on replacing them. But, I mean, obviously that's offensive to her. And then there's another time where he introduces her as, I caught her stealing and she's homeless. And he doesn't realize he's doing anything wrong. He's just being honest. But obviously that's humiliating to her. So there are multiple times. Anyways, one time she's talking to him and says, I was embarrassed that I didn't want you to think poorly of me, that type of stuff. And Lev says this. It's 18.28% in the book. Because I use an e-reader, if you change the font size, it changes page numbers, and I didn't want to mess everybody up, but the percentage will be the same. So 18.28% in the book. He says, the only way I would look down on you is if I was helping you back up. And it just That blew my mind. If everyone in the world thought that way, if that was just the common way to behave, not judging and not being judgmental, but the only way I would look down on you is if I was helping you back up, how incredible would that be? It gives you some insight into the way Lev's brain thinks. You know, he said the things he said, and yes, he was blunt about them, but that's not what he felt about it, you know? Mina's going to be working in the strip club as a bartender, and she really sucks at it at first, but gets the hang of it. It's really neat because like the strip club will start going through some trouble, and Mina will step up to help and figure out a way to make it successful and those types of things. So that was really neat to actually see her thrive and really enjoy life. Eventually Mina will ask Lev out on a date. I think that's important because Lev wasn't trying to take advantage of her, and he waited for her to be interested in him and ask him out. So I liked that part. Eventually, after the relationship kind of gets going, Mina is going to find out that Lev is actually an enforcer in his brother's loan shark business. So she obviously has some difficulty wrapping her brain around this. Here's this guy who's generous and caring, and then she catches him beating the crud out of some guy. Like, those two people don't mesh in her brain. So it's difficult for her to kind of wrap her mind around that. And she's sitting down at breakfast with Lev's sister and a family friend the day after she finds out he's an enforcer. And I forget the exact wording, but in general, the family friend says, when you were homeless, Lev didn't judge you, so why are you judging him now? Basically, Lev is the exact same person now, even though he's an enforcer. He was an enforcer when he helped you off the street. And I just thought that, again, you know, maybe whatever somebody's profession is, and not that I'm suggesting, you know, loan sharks and that type of stuff, but the point is, you can have morals and values and be there and be, you know, help mankind no matter what profession you're in, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And the type of person he wasn't reflected in his profession. I didn't mention, but I should, that there will also be a child custody situation that's going on with his daughter, and that definitely takes up a large portion of the book. It's just a really incredible book. It's a lot about family, a lot about being there for each other, and you know, mankind. I loved it. I love books that have really great, amazing depth in their characters, and this book just blew me away. I loved every bit of it. I will absolutely be reading the next book. I think that's going to be on the sister and the family friend I was discussing, Vic. But that's just based off my powers of deduction of the book's title for the next one. So, anyways, like I said, this is Bella Aurora's Lev. I hope you all pick it up. It was just an incredible read for me. If you like this review, go ahead and like it. If you have any questions or comments, go leave that in the comment section. And then if you want my reviews every week, subscribe. Thank you all for joining me.